Hello students. Am I audible now? So hello students, welcome back to daily newspaper analysis. Today is 11th of May and today we shall be discussing four important articles from The Hindu. So first article is related to global uncertainties. So yesterday itself the Prime Minister of India has appealed to the citizens of this country to reduce the dependence of imports amid the West Asia crisis. Next is very important article related to role of governor. So here we shall be discussing the role of governor after the recent elections in Tamil Nadu. Next topic is related to Girmitya committee. So basically this article discusses about the uh, so basically, this article discusses about the role played by India in the preservation of legacy of Girmitya committee. So, for prelims point of view, the important points about the Girmitya committee is important. And now, next article we have the topic of IORA, that is Indian Ocean Rim Association. So here, recently Indian Ocean Dialogue took place, and IORA also took part in that. The main reason was to discuss the future solutions amid the West Asia crisis. So let's start our discussion. Okay, so this article is related to global uncertainties. So recently, the Prime Minister of India has appealed to cut fuel use, avoid foreign travel, urges PM amid the global uncertainties. So let's discuss each and everything in detail. Okay, okay. So as you know that because of the Iran as well as because of the US and Iran crisis, US and Iran crisis, which we also call as West Asia crisis. Because of this crisis and rising global crude oil prices, the world is facing an energy crisis as well as inflation. So, what is the important term here? The world is facing inflation also, and as well as energy crisis. Okay. Now, as you already know that India imports large amount of few of the important products. What are those products? For example, India imports large amount of crude oil. After that, India imports large amount of edible oil. After edible oil, we import large amount of gold also. And finally, we import large amount of fertilizers. So these are the important products which no matter what is happening, but no, there is necessity in India, and India imports large amount of these products. So such global crisis will affect the Indian economy because these all products we are importing in very large quantity. Now, the Prime Minister of India asked the citizens to act responsibly and support the country. So, why he is asking to act responsibly? Because the important thing is, see, as we know, that all these products are imported, right? Now, since these products are imported and because of the West Asia crisis, their price have already been increased. So if their price has already been increased, then these products will become expensive. Now you only tell me, if the imports become expensive, then how we will buy these imports? For that, to buy these imports, you will be needing the forex, that is foreign exchange reserves. So if you are buying more, if you are importing more and more products, you will be needing more and more forex. That means more and more forex will be going out. If more and more forex is going out, then what will happen? Your rupee will depreciate. And if your rupee depreciates, then imports, the essential imports will become again costly. So basically what is happening because of this? The single thing, what is that thing? That if you are importing a lot of products during the West Asia crisis, then it will put a lot of pressure on the Indian economy, or for that matter on the economy of any other country. So basically the Prime Minister of India is urging the citizens of this country to reduce the unnecessary imports. So here our main focus is on the reducing unnecessary imports, and to reduce all those kind of imports, he has suggested some of the solutions. So these are the main things which he has discussed. So he also appealed the people to reduce the unnecessary imports by buying the local products. Why he asked to buy local products? See, if you buy any foreign product, then to buy that foreign product, you will be needing forex, and hence forex will be going outside the country. But if you are focusing more and more on the local product, then the money will remain inside our country only, right? It will be used for the development of our own economy, rather than we are expending more on the foreign exchange reserves. Now, because he also asked to avoid the foreign vacations, same thing applies there also, because if you are reducing number of foreign vacations, then you will be spending more and more money inside the India, and hence the amount of forex which is going out, it will reduce. He also asked to reduce the gold purchases, because gold is also an important part of our import. Also he asked to save the fuel. Why he asked to save the fuel? Because see, if you are importing more, if you are importing more and more products, then how these imports are coming? These imports are coming through the ships, and to run these ships you will be needing fuel, and at present you have the scarcity of fuel only. So basically overall solution is, as we must try to reduce more and more imports, and we must try to focus more and more on the local products, and we must reduce the dependence on the imports. Okay, now next thing is that he also encouraged the use of public transport, electrical vehicles, and work from home practices. So why he is saying this? So that you can reduce the amount of fuel needed. Because if you are doing work from home, then your travel time, your traffic, all these things will be avoided. And important thing is, less amount of fuel will be used. And if you are using more and more public transport, then also you will be using less amount. Now, he also discussed a few important things at the agriculture level. So, at agricultural level, as you know that in India, the fertilizer which is used, that fertilizer is used in lot of quantity, and the raw material for fertilizer is also based on the natural gas, and that natural gas is mainly found in the West Asia region. So that's why he has asked the farmers, he warned the excessive use of fertilizers will harm the soil, and second, it will increase our import dependence. So that's why he asked the farmers to gradually move towards the nature-based farming, or that is natural farming, so that less amount of fertilizers will be involved. So here the overall message is that economic resilience is not the government's responsibility. So his main message was, it's not only the responsibility of the government to manage all these things. Citizens must also play an important role to reduce the import dependence, so that India can become self-reliant. So this was the overall message of article. Okay, this we have discussed. Now, next article is very, very important. It is visible, right? Okay. So this article talks about the role of governor. This article says the governor who forgot his job. So basically this discusses about the role of governor after the recent elections in Tamil Nadu. So let's discuss the complete thing. What all important things are discussed in the article? Let's discuss the complete story. So see, as you know, after 2026 assembly elections, TVK party, so which party got victory? So here TVK party, which was led by C. Vijay. So after 2026 Tamil Nadu elections, this TVK political party, which was led by C. Vijay, it emerged as the single largest party. But this single largest party got 108 votes. But to form the government, you need 118 votes. I think this thing we already discussed few days back, that though it emerged as a single largest party, but it did not have the required number of majority to form the government. So despite being the single largest party, it was, so since it did not have the required majority, because of that, the governor of Tamil Nadu did not invite the leader of this TVK party to form the government. And what government did? Government demanded the signed support letters from 118 MLAs, that is 108 MLAs, before administering oaths. Though later this TVK party got the support of other political parties, and after getting the support, it got 121 seats. And after that, government allowed the swearing in and directed the chief minister to seek a vote of confidence. But here also the government gave the deadline that though he has formed the government, he has to seek the vote of confidence before 13th May. Now here, the article says that this action of the governor is violating the established constitutional conventions as well as the principles of parliamentary democracy. So what the article is saying, that this action of governor is violating the constitutional conventions. Which action of the government the article is talking about? Because here, though the party did not have the required number, but party was taking the claim that we can form the government. So here the role of governor was just limited to that governor must invite that leader of TVK party to form the government. It's not the role of governor to ask the vote of confidence or prove the majority before forming the government. So this article is discussing that this is the violation of constitutional convention, because according to the convention, the governor's role after the election is limited to just identify that suitable person who can command the vote of majority and then invite him to form the government. No, so government cannot ask that leader that no, first before me only you have to prove the majority. The majority has to be proven in the floor test, and floor test is done at the floor of house, at the floor of state legislative assembly. So this was the violation of constitutional convention which government did. Now the article is supporting all these arguments with the recommendations of some of the conventions. For example, the Sarkaria Commission, or for example, Kunshi Commission. So according to these commissions, they laid down the order of preference in the government formation, that who all should be given the priority in the government formation. So according to these commissions, single largest pre-poll alliance will get the first preference. So here, if we have any single largest pre-poll alliance, then that alliance will be given the first preference by the governor of that state in forming the government. And after that, single largest political party which is capable of forming the stable government. So basically, this was the order of preference in which the governor must invite the particular party or particular alliance for forming the government. So here, article also discusses that these type of inconsistencies were seen in the earlier cases also. For example, if we talk about Goa in 2017, or for example, if we talk about Manipur in 2017. So here, parties with fewer seats also were invited to form the government. So article is saying if these things were done in 2017, then why these things were not done now? Because the leader of TVK had to face a lot of problems. He had to seek support of lot of MLAs so that he can form the government. So here the article emphasizes that at present in Tamil Nadu we had the case of minority government. Minority government, then that means no single party or alliance is able to secure the majority votes. That government is formed, called minority government. But article is saying even in the past we have some of the very good examples of minority government which worked very well. For example, if we talk about the minority government under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That minority government was formed in 1996. Though it was minority government, but it worked very well. So article is saying it could have worked in the Tamil Nadu also. Then why governor was asking to prove the majority? No, before himself, but not before the house. Now, article discusses another important thing, and that is Article 164 of the Constitution. So, under Article 164 of the Constitution, the true test of majority is only on the floor of House and not before the governor or not through the pre-swearing in letters. So here, I think this thing we already also discussed, that governor should not ask to prove the majority before himself, but majority must be proved on the floor of the House. Now, the governor's insistence on the advance majority proof is considered as unconstitutional because it is not as per the past precedents, and it is not as per the recommendations of the various commissions. For example, Sarkaria Commission or Punshi Commission. And next thing what article criticizes, because the governor has asked the leader of TVK to prove the majority at the floor of house within 72 hours deadline. Now why this is wrong? Because it will encourage horse trading. Because see, if you have very less time, like if you have less time to prove the majority, then every political party will try by either by hook or crook, anyway they have to get the support, whether it is fair or not, anyway they will do all these things. So that's why article is saying if you are providing very less time to prove the majority, it will encourage horse trading, it will encourage defection, etc. So here the reference is also given about the Karnataka government formation, which happened in 2018. So here what Supreme Court did, Supreme Court reduced the timeline for the floor test. Why Supreme Court did that? If the timeline for the floor test is reduced, it will prevent the defections, or it will prevent the horse trading. So basically the article is saying that instead of ordering the confidence votes immediately in front of the governor, the government should continue until the opposition moves a motion of no confidence. So basically article is saying that no any political party which is asking to prove the majority, that the leader of that party must be invited, the party must be formed. After that, the vote of confidence can be introduced in the floor of the house. So governor has no right to ask for the vote of majority in front of himself. So here basically the article says that governors are the appointed constitutional authorities, and these constitutional authorities must respect the already set the constitutional conventions or the precedents. Okay, so I think these are the important things which were discussed in the article. Okay, so see, this topic of governor has been in the news more and more. So here article 164, article 163 is very important for the exam. Now quickly give me answer in the comment section that when governor appoints the chief minister of any state, so whether it is on the discretion of the governor or whether it depends on the aid and advice of the council of ministers. So please answer this question in the comment section, that whether it is discretion or whether it depends on the aid and advice of council of ministers. Okay, next article we have about the Girmitya community. So basically what happened here, the External Affairs Minister of India highlighted India's efforts to preserve the legacy of Girmitya community. So let's understand complete thing here first. See, let's understand about the history of Girmitya community, then you will get an idea. See, what happened during the British time, what happened during the British rule? During the British colonial rule, many poor Indians were taken to the faraway colonies. During the British time, so many poor peoples from the region of UP, from the region of Bihar, and from other regions of North India, these poor Indians were taken away to the faraway colonies. And what were those colonies? Some of the colonies in Fiji or some of the colonies in Mauritius. These people were taken to the faraway colonies, and what was the important objective? Objective was to work on the plantations. After the end of the slavery, these people were taken away to the faraway colonies, and there they worked as the indentured laborers in the what we say plantations. Now these workers were asked to sign a contract to work in those plantations. So see, these workers were asked to sign a contract or sign an agreement. So basically, the word which we are discussing about is the Girmitya. So basically, this word is derived from the word agreement only. That since these workers were asked to sign an agreement, and hence they came to be called as Girmitya. So basically, these workers signed labor agreements, and over a period of time, they came to be called as Girmitya. Now, even though these people lived far away from India, still they preserved their tradition, their religion, culture, etc. for generations. So, during his visit to Trinidad and Tobago recently, the Foreign Affairs Minister of India wanted to preserve the history of these communities and help their descendants to reconnect with their roots. So because of that, recently, India and Trinidad have signed an agreement to preserve the old migration records. What is the purpose? So that their descendants can trace their ancestors. And India is also planning a Girmitya Study Center. Girmitya's Study Center. And Girmitya Study Center, and it will also expand the OCI eligibility so that the descendants of Indian migrants can maintain the stronger ties.